Hey, so I wanted to come and share this video with you. So basically what I'm doing is I'm improving my training portal right now, and I'm adding different concepts that I've never really talked about in this detail of a manner. So I wanted to film, this video is mainly about partnerships and different types of partnerships. So I'm going to break it up into two parts. This part's going to be mostly about people who are already inside of the accounting field and just like the different types, how can you work with them, what are the different options that are available to you from those ones. I'm doing a part two that's more of people who are outside the accounting field. So different hidden types of referral partners and different types of partnerships that you can implement, access, and utilize in order to go and reach your goals. So let me know your thoughts inside the comments. If you have any questions, maybe something wasn't clear, because I want to make sure I have all of my thoughts really ironed out in a very presentable, easy way to understand and digest manner. So if there's something that's unclear, let me know in the comment section. I'll be sure to either answer your question or even make a part two to this part one video. And also, if you want some help growing your business, but maybe you just don't know exactly what you don't know, or you've been trying to grow your business, but you want to make sure that you have the best chance for success, go ahead and click on the link inside the description below to book a call with myself to see if you qualify for our mentorship program. It's not for everybody. It's only for people who we feel can actually fit this model, can fit this mold, and have the greatest probability and likelihood for success. So if that's you and you want to see if you qualify, go ahead and click on the link inside the description below. I'll see you there. Let's jump into the video. Cool. Okay, so partnerships. So welcome. Today let's talk about partnerships, okay? So I want to talk about different types of partnerships, and I want to actually go into what are some specific examples of some partnerships you can use. I also want to talk about which students in the program have gotten some success with it, so you can kind of get a feel for can you actually do this as well? So a couple of different types of partnerships. Number one is called subcontracting. Now, this is generally reserved for those inside the accounting field. So if you're working with an accountant, a bookkeeper, a tax professional, enrolled agent, a CFO, a forensic accountant. That just means that they already have X amount of work. And instead of them doing it themselves, they actually want you or your firm to do it for them. So let's say they go in and get someone to pay them like $100 per hour, right? You basically come in with them, you negotiate a deal out between you and the CPA, or you and the partner, and you're basically saying, okay, you're getting paid $100 per hour. I want to get paid like 75 or $50 per hour. Right? We're going to talk about different levels of what you should be asking for, how to ask for in different subsequent videos inside of this. In some cases, for some contracting, you can do it on an hourly basis. In some cases, you can do it on a project basis. You can even do it on a flat rate basis, just kind of depending on the partnership and what they're looking for and how their business model is made up. And inside the course, we're just be showing you a bunch of different ways to kind of ask for that and how to know what you should be getting for that subcontract. So you come in with some complete confidence, you know exactly what you're doing. Cool. So the second of relationship and partnership is a referral relationship. So this is the one that most people think about, right? So that just means that the person, that just means that the person basically has come and they have some clients who maybe they don't want to do the work, or for whatever reason they just can't do the work, or maybe they offer a totally different service, like maybe they're not in the accounting field and they want to go and send it to somebody they trust. Number of different reasons why they would do this. One reason why they would refer is they just don't have capacity. Another reason is if they're maybe like a CPA or even like a financial advisor, where they offer a service that complements bookkeeping or accounting, but rather than risk them going to a place, risk their clients going to a place that can do the full service, they have to just go find someone who specializes in bookkeeping. So they offer the tax strategy, whatever, and then they go and find you who does bookkeeping and monthly services. Now there can be crossover. Sometimes you guys can't offer the same services. There are different things you can sign, different ways you can kind of make them feel like you're not going to try and take their clients for that full service. But number of different reasons why someone would be interested in working with you on a referral. Now, there's a paid referral relationship and an unpaid referral relationship. Ideally, you would try and at least start with unpaid. Now, in some cases, if you know a referral partner is immediately going to give you 5, 10, 15 clients, like for example, let's say they have a deal where they just signed up with a networking group of business owners that are all inside of this chamber of commerce in the local area, and they're looking for a bookkeeper. They've all basically said they want to go with the same bookkeeper, so they can all have the same kind of books, right? Now, in that case, if you know that deal is locked up and they have the contract in place, it's just they're just looking for someone to help out or maybe even split some of those clients up with, then it's okay to pay them. I would definitely pay them. Now there are different pay scales, pay ways you can do it that make it both attractive for you and attractive for them. We can talk about that in subsequent videos, but just kind of thinking about the different types of referral relationships. Now, just keep in mind, it is not bad to pay someone for referrals. You can pay someone a referral bounty. You can pay someone an upfront bounty. You can pay someone like a directory bounty, right? That just means that they have like a directory of different accountants and bookkeepers that they might have, and they let you put you on their actual website as one of their preferred service providers, right? Another option is they could, like we talked about, they have like a contract with a group of different businesses, and they just want to find someone they pass it off to you. Another one could be that for every single client they send to you, give them a percentage of revenue for the first year. Ideally, if you're doing percentage of revenue, you do it for like 1 year time frames maximum. You don't want to do it in like perpetuity, unless it's like a very specific case where you know you're gonna be in with them for like the long haul. Next thing is a sales rep relationship. That's basically like if you're going after like a recruiter, if you're going after like an actual sales rep or someone who just like does marketing, like maybe a web designer or like a marketing kind of personality, right? Who loves to do promotion, but doesn't really understand how to do the accounting and bookkeeping themselves, right? Those can be known as like an affiliate as well as what those can be kind of called as well. And basically what that means is this person is basically wanting to go and get you clients, and they're willing to do it for either an affiliate fee, a commission, or in some cases they might want like an hourly rate that you pay them, or even a flat rate per month that you pay them to basically go and represent your business represent your business to potential clients, and then go and hunt for you to go and bring in new business. Another one that it really works as well is selling their firm to you. So some partnerships, they might start with subcontracting and referrals, but they're really just looking for someone who they can trust to hand off all their clients when they're ready to shut down their doors. And they basically sell the business to you, and they use what's called owner financing in some cases. Now, if you have to go take out like a loan, et cetera, like there are resources we can point you towards inside of this program that can show you how to go and buy a firm. But that can be another video. That's just an option that you have for you there. For example, John Roberts, how he was able to come and grow his business fast was he got a subcontract with the CPA. That CPA was paying about $50,000 per. Actually, I'm sorry, that CPA was paying about $100,000 per year because he was working a lot of hours with that CPA. But the deal was that within about 2 years, the owner of the CPA firm was going to sell it out to him and was doing $400,000 per year. And he basically said, okay, so he was going to take half of what John was making in the first 2 years, then John would have to pay an extra $25,000, and then the firm be cleared outright his, right? So that's a really, really, really great deal. Now, that's not going to happen for every single person inside the program. Like some people aren't going to want to have that kind of level of growth or that kind of level of partnership, but it is something that's available for you, and it's on the table if you're looking for it. Now, some people, when it comes to selling the firm, they might want to sell you the firm on day one. Some people might want to sell you the firm day 2000, right? It just really depends. But what I would kind of like make sure you understand is even if you're doing like a subcontracting type of agreement, don't treat them like they're not your clients. Even though they might not be like directly your clients for your firm, they can still become your clients if you were to buy the firm over time, or if the CPA or whatever just gives you the clients. Like that's happened a lot of times with students. Like for example, Maggie, she had a CPA partner, and the CPA was basically like, I don't want to do any more bookkeeping. I've just done it for so long. I just don't want to do anymore. I just don't like it. He just started every single one of his bookkeeping clients. He sent them an email saying, hey, this is Maggie. She can be doing your bookkeeping from now on. Go talk to her to go and get a price quote. That's literally what he said. And just so many clients came to her. Like I think within like the first like 35 days, 22 people had basically booked a consultation call with her. And about out of 22, I think it was about 15 or 16 signed up with her right away. Right. So it's like this stuff can be very, very powerful, right? If you know how to utilize it properly, and if you go and put in the time, and if you go do the work. So let's talk about the different partnerships inside of the different fields. So first we'll start with different partnerships inside of the accounting field, right? So we'll start with CPAs. Now, CPAs are really good for subcontracting referral, also selling the firm to you. Okay. In some cases, they actually can be a sales rep if they have like a sales team on staff, right? And you guys are doing like some sort of deal. So these do not all have to be mutually exclusive. Keep that in mind. You could be subcontracting for the person. Then they could want to refer all new clients to you because they just don't want to take on that service anymore. They could even sell their firm to you, and then they could even let you use some of their like sales reps or even like aid in your marketing efforts with some of their marketing team, right? So they can do all of those things. Now, for me, I really, really, really like them, right? Because it's just so versatile. And some of the CPA firms, especially the ones that are older, have been just around for so long, they can just give you endless amounts of work. Like a lot of our top students have used this to success. Like Audrey used this, Florence used this. She got like a $6,000 per month subcontracting deal from like a CPA firm. John Roberts, we just talked about, who got the $400,000 per year firm off of a CPA contract. Now, keep in mind, the pros of these is, yeah, they can do endless work. They're very established. They're very easy. Some cons of them, though, is number one, some of the older CPAs are very tech unsavvy, which means they don't really understand how they can do subcontracting and allow their clients, right? They can kind of shut down that partnership if they don't really understand how to do cloud-based accounting. Another thing is they generally tend to be procrastinators. What that means is it's kind of like works an up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. So they are very, very busy, and then they just like, oh, I can't do anything right now. I'm just too overflowed. And then they have nothing to do, right? They're basically going on vacation. They're very hard to reach, or they're just not back in the office, or they're back up and it's like just up and down, right? So your job is to catch them in the middle of that up. So right when they're starting to come back up, right, for air, your job is to catch them right about here. Now, when you're doing that, right, you can catch them between here to about the top, right? Some of them will, if they are procrastinating or if they are like in the peak of business, they will switch, but it depends on the personality of the person. Some of them want to be proactive, some of them want to be reactive. So it just really depends. You have to know exactly what you're going with. And that's why, like, whenever I recommend that you go after CPH, you go after a large number of them and you foster those relationships. And like in other subsequent modules, you're gonna learn how to foster those relationships, how to follow up and how to get them on the phone, like what to say when they're on the phone. So those are some cons of CPAs, but the pros far outweigh the cons. It's just I would not in the beginning, you want to make sure that you're going after a lot of them. But over time, as you start getting more and more of them as partners, as you just start building a better partnership repertoire, you want to diversify by going after other partnerships in different industries, right? So as we're going to kind of talk about the partnerships that are outside of the accounting field. So that's CPAs. Some platforms you can use to go and get CPA partnerships. Number one are the letters that we talk about inside of the Kickstarter call. Number two is email marketing. Number three is networking events. Number four is whenever you get a new client, you should schedule a meeting with their CPAs, just introducing yourself and doing a meet and greet, right? Because then you can actually go and see, can they refer clients to you? Can they do some subcontracting, right? Because they're a trustworthy individual who now they have a relationship with. It's almost like they're, for lack of a better word, forced to be in a relationship with you. So you might as well take advantage of it as much as possible. Cool. Next group of people that I like to go and utilize are other bookkeepers. Okay. So bookkeepers can generally be pretty good. Same thing, subcontracting, referrals, you can even buy their firm. I personally like them because of the fact that you can if you offer higher level services, you can really fit in well with them. And oftentimes bookkeepers, like they might be able to go and get a really good sized client if you know how to price it out correctly, but they're just very, very fearful they can't actually handle that client. Now, it's not all bookkeepers. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying there's a good majority of them that are able to do it. There are also about 384,000 bookkeeping firms inside just the United States. So a lot of targets you can go after for that. Side note, and just I might cut this into the video a little bit earlier. For CPAs, one thing with CPAs is that you can actually go and partner with them and then start calling their clients as if you are a member of their team and start actually either getting more subcontracting work and slash, or you could call them on your CPA partner's behalf and get them to sign up with you, right? That's one thing that I like doing with CPA contracts, actually getting access to their past client list, past lead list, past calendar of all appointments that have been booked with them, and then just doing some cleanup and just going and calling back all the people, utilizing some of the sales scripts that are inside of our training portal, and then getting them to be your client. It's a very crazy kind of way to do it. You can do the same thing with the bookkeeping firms as we're kind of talking about as well. Okay, a good example, this is Anna Jean. So Anna Jean was just getting a really good amount of like bookkeepers to want to go with them. So basically in exchange for referring clients to her and doing subcontracting. So anytime that a bookkeeper partner of her will be in over their head, they would just start sending clients to her. And she would actually do QuickBooks training with those bookkeepers. So the bookkeepers would essentially pay her anywhere between about $100 to about $175 per hour to teach them bookkeeping and accounting. And then when a client was too big, they would just refer that client to Anna Jean, and she would just keep getting more and more clients just like that, right? So a lot of different ways you can kind of really get success with bookkeepers. The pros of bookkeepers, there's a huge number of them. Cons, they might see you as competition. Other cons is they might not have a good amount of clients. Some other cons are they might not be pricing out their work correctly. So it's really hard to subcontracting, especially if they've already priced themselves way too low. There's just not enough meat on the bone for you to kind of really do stuff with. Some platforms to reach them: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, email, really any social media platform, because they're still small enough to being like entrepreneurs that you can actually reach out to without being like a major corporation. So I do like them for that. Next is enrolled agents. Cool. So when it comes to enrolled agents, these ones are actually pretty cool as well because a lot of them are actually going to, they can do bookkeeping, they can do taxes, they can do tax resolution. And within all their tax resolution, there's generally a cleanup component that's needed. So a lot of them are going to actually be able to refer you and subcontracting cleanups out to you, right? So if you get an enrolled agent as a partner, no matter what service they offer, it's something that you can generally help them out with. It makes a really, really good partnership. So actually, someone who used an enrolled agent to get to about 10 grand per month was Millie. So she actually got one enrolled agent to actually give her $10,000 per month worth of clients. Now, some pros, okay? Again, a lot of their services translate directly over to like monthly bookkeeping and monthly CFO work. Some cons are there is a very small number of them. I believe there's about 55,000 enrolled agents total. That's not enrolled agent businesses. That's just enrolled agents like total. I think they had like this kind of new campaign they're doing to just increase that number drastically over time. But as of the time of recording this video, there just isn't as many. For example, there's a lot of CPAs, about 1 million CPAs inside the United States, but there are 54,000 CPA firms inside the United States versus for enrolled agents. There's only 55,000 total right now. In the future, there might be, I believe there was like an extra like 70,000 that are being trained and like being kind of recruited. But I don't know exactly when that's going to take effect or if they're all going to like really, really go there. So that number could be going double, but still, out of all the different ones we're talking about, those are generally like the smallest number of business owners. Um, Cons, not really a huge amount of cons with them. They can be a little bit harder to get a subcontracting partnership with if they only want to do tax resolution and if they have the cleanup section kind of outsourced already. Um, Platforms reach them very similar like CPAs and bookkeepers. I like LinkedIn, I like email, I like letters. Facebook is a little bit harder to reach them on, so I'd use more of like the more prospecting type channels. Next is tax pros. Okay, the tax professional is pretty self-explanatory. Anyone who does taxes, who maybe they're just not a CPA yet, but they're just they do tax preparation for both business and individuals. Ideally, you're going after people who do business tax returns, right? Because you have more business clients to send to you if you're doing high ticket monthly bookkeeping. Now, I kind of like these because these guys generally know how to go and get clients and people are coming to them. It's just they don't really have a good service to offer to keep the people around like year round, right? So they might try and do like some tax strategy or some tax planning, and that generally will have better client retention. But for these particular people, it's actually really good if you can offer them some sort of like referral bounty every single month of the year so that not only can they refer clients to you, but they can also get some yearly recurring income and monthly recurring income, right? Without having to do any extra work. Because a lot of them they'll make like $50,000 or $60,000 per year, but their income stops outside of tax season. So if you're able to come, they maybe give, let's say they give you like $5,000 a month worth of clients, right? And let's say that you're giving like a 20% referral bounce, right? That's an extra $1,000 per month to their revenue, and that's pure profit. It goes straight to the bottom line, and they didn't have to lift a single finger to go and get it. So it's actually really good and really easy for you to go and get them to want to work with you because the benefits are very clearly defined and clearly drawn out. Someone who got some really great success with this was like Jack Cantos. So he got some success with both tax professionals because he offers tax on prep as well. And also he got some really good results with like CPA as well. So it's like anyone who just needed some help when it came to like bookkeeping, or maybe they had some referrals to just know who to send it to send them to Jack. Next group of people are CFOs. So for CFOs, I like these because they oftentimes have a third component, right? So they can oftentimes refer clients to you, they can subcontract clients to you, and they can become your sales rep because whenever they go and get on a client, they can tell that client, hey, I cannot do the job unless I have XYZ person do the accounting and the bookkeeping for me, right? I generally handle more of the strategy. They handle more of the bookkeeping and like more of the monthly work and the transactional work. So it's actually very good. And oftentimes, if you actually go and talk to one of their client says no, you can tell them, they go back and fight for you, and they actually can go and land the client for you. This happens a lot, especially with like Audrey. So she had like a CFO, and that CFO client was giving her a lot of referrals and a lot of subcontracting. So some pros of CFOs are that, again, they can do a lot of selling for you. They generally have a lot more leverage on their client than what maybe you might, because you might just be meeting that client. Number two, the cons though is that number one, they can be a little bit harder to find. Number two, they might be a little more old school. Number three, in some cases, they can be a little bit more rigid. And also right now, there's a lot of like fractionalist CFOs. There's a lot of people who are like trying to learn like advisory and so CFO services. So it is very popular. What that does lead to is they can generally have a very low volume of clients, or they're just not very like good at pricing the way they want to. So they can be a little bit more hit or miss than the other ones. Like the other ones generally have more consistency with them, but with these ones, it can be a little bit more challenging just because like the sheer lack of CFOs and the sheer lack of like true CFOs. Oftentimes, these people are looking more for like a job rather than own like their own business. It's almost like they're looking for like a really large, cushy kind of part-time job that they can still make, six figures per year from, but they just don't really have the volume outside of that to really be good referral partners or good subcontracting partners, because they're generally not the best at marketing. Cool. Next is forensic accountants. These are generally great for massive cleanups. So Melissa got a $6,000 per month cleanup from one of these forensic accountants. So basically, this multi-million-dollar agency, and some money was going missing, right? So Melissa basically had to go through, do a lot of forensic accounting, do a lot of analysis, do a lot of cleanup, and she's able to get that person, pay them $6,000 per month. That cleanup, I believe, lasted for 3 months. So the $18,000 cleanup from that, right? That forensic accountant also referred 14 other people to her within about, I think it was within about a month, under about a month. And half of those people signed up within like the first like week of Melissa knowing them, right? So they're actually really good. I really do like them. Generally, some pros, again, big cleanups. They generally are dealing with larger corporations or corporations that have a massive need and a massive reason for moving forward and doing business with you right now. So the urgency level and the speed with which you're going to get paid when you have a partnership or referral that comes from them is really, really massive. Some cons, it does require a little bit more skill set when you're dealing with like a cleanup of that type. So if you're more of a beginner bookkeeper, in some cases it might be a little bit harder for you to kind of gain their trust, or for you to even do the client work. So that's the only con when it comes to them. So to reach out to them, LinkedIn works very well. Email marketing works very well. Also, I generally like LinkedIn and email, and also like the letter lead list, because they are a specific type of accountant. So, they don't always necessarily just call into the forensic accountant when they're on like Facebook. So by you being able to go and target based on like that profession type and using the search criteria to be able to go do that, that generally can make it a little bit easier for you to go and get them as clients quicker. Cool.